How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a BLM. In this case, it probably does stand for Black Lives, Lies Matter scammer by the name of Sir Major Page. Yes, that's the name that he goes by. It's not his real name. His real name is Tyree Conyers Page, but he goes by Sir. Okay, maybe he watches ABL Live and I keep saying sir, 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 and it's stuck in his head. And he said, that's it, I'm gonna go by Sir. And Major is spelled Major. Don't know why he picked that name, really, but I digress. The whole point is that this guy is a scammer. He set up an organization called BLMGA. That's not Black Lives Matter Georgia, that's Black Lives Matter of Greater Atlanta. But the federalists came and got him in Toledo, Ohio. So I'm not really sure how he goes from Georgia to Ohio, but I digress. He set up the organization and he got almost $500,000 in donations, but he spent at least $200,000 on himself, and there's no receipts to show that he spent any money on social justice activities. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but first, let's watch this news clip. In this clip, you'll see most of what I said with some more elaboration. You'll see Tyree Conyers' page, you'll see his face, you'll see where he was living, you see how much money he spent. After we get done watching that, I'll talk about what was said there. Then I'll give you the rest of my 2 cents, my deep detail analysis, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
This is video of Black Lives Matter activist Sir Major Page in handcuffs as FBI agents raided his home. He's charged with wire fraud and 2 counts of money laundering. Page, who's also known as Tyree Conyers Page, is accused of misusing more than $200,000 in donations he collected from Black Lives Matter of Greater Atlanta Incorporated, an organization he created. He allegedly used the money to buy this home and to live a lavish lifestyle. Federal agents collected several pieces of furniture from the home along with other evidence. This man was helping Page remodel it. He claims the home is for the community. And the home was going to be used for what for the community?
They can use internet access, do laundry, they can bathe themselves.
And who is that? Who when you say they, who?
Whomever in the community that will need the services.
A complaint was filed with the FBI in April of this year. Agents say Page used donations to purchase food, entertainment, a home security system, tailored suits, and accessories. They say in 2018, he set up the account named Black Lives Matter of Greater Atlanta Incorporated. The account balance never exceeded $5,000 and at one point had a negative balance of $12. In June, that account received more than $36,000 in donations. In July, it got approximately $371,000 in donations. And in August, an additional $60,000 in donations. Investigators say all this money was transferred into a bank account owned and operated by Page. His neighbors are shocked.
Oh my goodness, that's terrible.
FBI agents say Page has no receipts to show he used the money for social or racial justice. They say in June of this year, Page responded to private social media messages and claimed the funds had been donated to the fight for George Floyd and that none of the funds have been used for personal items, all movement related. Agents say, however, in June, July, and August, Page repeatedly used a debit card linked to the same account to make personal purchases. And once he is released from the jail, he cannot get in trouble. He also is restricted to Ohio in terms of travel. He must check in with pretrial services on Monday. He cannot possess any weapons or ammunition. Also, he will not be allowed to be on Facebook, but the judge says he's not going to silence him from social media. And also, he is not allowed to do any fundraising activities, and he's not allowed to open any bank accounts without prior written permission from pretrial services.
All right, you saw that, you heard that. Now, this story is crazy, but I'm not surprised at all because, okay, the elephant in the room for me, just for me personally, not sure about anyone else out there, but the elephant in the room for me is, how do you have a legitimate Black Lives Matter organization? Huh? How do you have a legitimate organization? So if he was to have receipts for, I don't know, baseball bats and shields and, you know, riot paraphernalia, would that be considered appropriate to have as far as your business? Because what does BLM actually do? What do they really do? I'm trying to figure it out. I've not heard about them being out there in the community doing anything. All I hear about from BLM is going out there and rioting. maybe if he bought a bunch of signs, I can go out there and say defund the police and aid cab and stuff like that, it'd be legitimate. I'm trying to figure out what he could have done to make his organization be legitimate, all right? If he's not out there actually rioting and doing what BLM is doing, he's probably doing a great job. Go ahead and ball out, buy you some suits and some watches, get you a Rolex and some diamonds and some Jordans and stuff like that. Buy you a house out there in Toledo, Ohio for $112,000. You got a good deal, sir. If you're gonna cheat the system, I want you to do that rather than going out there and, committing a crime or engaging in chaos, but I digress. The whole point is that this guy set up this whole thing just to get money for himself. That's what it appears to be. He was not able to produce any receipts that show any kind of good. Now, I'm kind of joking about the whole BLM thing, but I'm kind of being serious as well. We see BLM out there doing bad things, but maybe, just maybe, if you're a local person and you're not involved with the national, maybe you have good intentions. Maybe you don't want to be involved with the national, and maybe you're doing something right. But no, that's not what's going on here. This guy was just trying to floss, as a quote unquote cool kid say. He was just flossing. You spent $200,000 on just regular stuff. And then he tried to hide the house purchase because he bought it under LLC of a different company and had the person sign an NDA. But when you got the federales watching you, none of that really matters. You're trying to be Mr. Incognito. That's not really going to be the thing. And he does appear to be black. He's just albino. That's something else I wanted to talk about. That's kind of the elephant in the room right there that nobody's really addressing. He does appear to be black. I see his features and nose and the hair and all of that. So he's probably black, just albino. So maybe he's just trying to show how black he is, but at the same time, he's just trying to get some money and ball out. That's kind of what's going on with that. And my hope and my wish would be that the FBI does not see BLM as a legitimate organization at all. All right. We've already deemed Antifa as a terrorist organization as well as the KKK. Let's go ahead and lump BLM in there too. Why don't we? Why not? I don't see what they do that's very good. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe I've not seen what they do in the community. If you guys know, let me know in the comments. But all I see them do all over the country, not just, the big time BLM you see on TV, or the lady with the crazy satanic wings on. What's her name? Patrice Cullors, one of the co-founders, the self-proclaimed Marxist. If it's not about them on a local level, they might just be out there, chanting, marching, not really doing a whole lot. Maybe if you raise money, you're able to just use that for food and beverages when you're out there on a long, hard day of working, protesting, marching, destroying stuff or whatever. Now, let's talk about these donations right quick. The donations he had sparked right away after a couple of key events, and they're pretty sick, actually. I'm not sure if it's correlation causation, but one of these two, if not both, definitely caused a big uptick in donations, all right? The first thing, George Floyd died May 25th. In June, he got his first immediate spark in donations. It was like $36,000. Now, July or sometime in June, I think Sequoia Turner dies. Remember Sequoia Turner? May she rest in peace. Little girl. She might have been, 8, 9 years old, a little baby, right? She was riding in the car with her mom in Atlanta, and they got off on the interstate. They got off the interstate, and they found themselves in this area that had kind of been blocked off by BLM. And as they pulled into the parking lot and tried to turn around, somebody from the so-called BLM protesters, really rioters, insurrectionists, shot wildly into the car, killing a little girl. Right? And you had a father up there with the mayor, Keisha Lance Bottoms, talking about, y'all say Black Lives Matter. What about my daughter? What did she do to anybody? If Black Lives Matter, what about her life? Right after that, he got $370,000 in donations. Now, like I said, it could just be correlation, not causation, or both. You had George Floyd and Sequoia Turner. So why did BLM get $370,000 after this little girl got killed by BLM or by those that support BLM, by BLM sympathizers? Huh? Now, I wonder, was it got some major page out there during that whole situation? I'm just throwing stuff out there to see what's what. I don't know if he was involved at all. Like I said from the beginning, I would prefer that he not be involved at all with any of BLM's official activities. If he can just get money and floss, that's better than getting money and using it to kill people. You see what I'm saying? Either way it goes is wrong. I think what BLM does is worse than what this guy was doing. But it's all a scam. If you donating money to BLM, it's a scam, okay? This guy is just one person that has been caught. One sloppy guy. Man, you buying stuff from Walmart using your own name and stuff like that. I mean, come on, you spending 12 grand at Walmart, like 5 grand at Lowe's and stuff like that. You just making yourself really hot, and you just drawing the ire of the federales. You set up an incorporated business. Nah, you're gonna have all types of. You're gonna have the SEC on your back. Now you're doing something that's totally. If you're just one person as a sole proprietorship and you're not claiming to be part of BLM or BLMGA, you might be able to get away with it. But what you were doing was perpetrating the fraud, talking about, yeah, I have a charitable organization and I'm going to donate to charity, but you spent all of your money on yourself. If you did spend it on charity, you have no receipts to show for it, and you can't do that. That's called fraud. No, that is very illegal. But like I said, I want for BLM as a whole to be seen in that same kind of way, to be seen as a subversive group and a terrorist organization. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that Sir Major Page was just trying to get money from the very beginning and had no interest in Black Lives Matter? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Or am I mischaracterizing Mr. Page? Was he trying to do the right thing for the community? You saw in the clip, the guy was like, well, we're trying to build this up for the community to use, and they got to bathe, and they need to use the Wi-Fi or whatever. We're here for that. If that's your viewpoint, then let me know why in the comments below. You guys know where I stand. This guy is a typical Atlanta fraudster, con artist. You know, Atlanta is the capital of what the cool kids call the finesse, the scam, the swindle, all right? The flim flam, that's where it lives, Atlanta, Georgia, for sure. There are plenty of guys like him all over the country. Black Lives Matter is that kind of organization, all right? In general, it's a scam. If you paying money or donating money to BLM, the national, you're donating to this little payment processor or through the processor called Win Blue. Win Blue is what all the Democrats use. And Win Blue is a company unto itself, and they take a piece of your donation money and then they give that as a donation to whoever they want. That's, you know, liberal, Democrat, quote unquote, progressive or whatever. So a piece of your BLM money, and let's not forget, they raised $20 million in one day after George Floyd died. One day, and didn't even break his family off 1 red cent. Other $20 million, if when Blue takes 20%, 30%, that's a nice hefty chunk right there. You're talking about what, $5-6 million? Why wouldn't that all go to Joe Biden? Why not? He's running for president right now. That's the most important election. Why would it not go to Joe Biden exclusively? You guys tell me. Is it a coincidence that Joe Biden was raising record monies right after George Floyd and all the BLM stuff started to go down? Huh? Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.